Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Arkansas at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a top 25 team, one of the teams that I think many of us believe could compete for that 12-team college football playoff as the Big 12 champion. Oklahoma State comes into this ranked 16th in the country off a 44-20 win over South Dakota State. But Arkansas, how about them Hogs put up 70 in the debut of Bobby Petrino's return to Arkansas as this school's offensive coordinator. And listen, if you've listened to this show all offseason, I know that I've said it a million times. So forgive me. Maybe this is the last time that I say it, and then we'll put a bow on this storyline. But I don't think I realized how revered Bobby Petrino was in Fayetteville until I happened to be in Fayetteville last December for the Duke-Arkansas basketball game when Bobby Petrino was officially named offensive coordinator, okay? And I bring it up because he gets a standing ovation. They're chanting, "We want Bobby," in Bud Walton Arena that night in Fayetteville. And I just bring it up because I didn't realize how revered he was. But as he showed last Thursday against Arkansas Pine Bluff, there is a reason that people in Arkansas love him. And I understand. I know what everyone's going to say. It's only Arkansas Pine Bluff. Who cares? Whatever. Here's the bottom line with what Arkansas did, though. Whatever you want to talk about Bobby Petrino, whatever. They put up 70 points in their season opener, okay? And they not only put up 70 points, but like a lot of these teams, the starters did not play in the second half of their game in their opener. Let me take it a step further. Arkansas had 10 possessions against Arkansas Pine Bluff. I didn't really watch the second half. I was told there was a running clock, but you have 10 possessions, you score 10 touchdowns, several of them with the backups. You know you're doing something good. And I think what's going to be especially intriguing, this is an intriguing national stage for Talon Green, the transfer quarterback from Boise State. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's the best player ever and he's going to win the Heisman. But listen, you saw everything you possibly could have wanted to see in that season opener. 2 passing touchdowns, about 230 yards or so in the air. Also had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. This guy just seems to have a good feel for this Bobby Petrino offense. Now, in terms of Oklahoma State, can't really, listen, you're not going to get too high, you're not going to get too low based off of one game. They did, to their credit, take care of South Dakota State 44-20. And the thing that stands out about that game, listen, we talked a lot about Colorado when they did beat North Dakota State in week 1. I said, listen, I'm not going to criticize Colorado because it wasn't pretty, because North Dakota State is better than a lot of FBS group of 5 teams. Well, if North Dakota State's good, then we got to give South Dakota State their flowers because they have been the best team in the FCS over the last couple years. So this is not some FCS program in South Dakota State that Oklahoma State opened with a week ago. This is a program that, as I said, you put them in the Mountain West, they ain't finishing in last place. You put them in the MAC, Conference USA, whatever, they ain't finishing in last place. South Dakota State is a good football team, but it doesn't mean that there aren't some concerns for Oklahoma State as well. By the way, I forget if I mentioned this. Spread is 7.5, over under 62.5. That over under is up from earlier in the week. It opened at about 59.5. I think if you're looking for concerns for Oklahoma State, again, I know you played a good opponent, but this defense wasn't very good a year ago. Doesn't really look all that much better last year. Final stats from 2023, 86th nationally in points allowed, about 27 points per game allowed, 122nd nationally in total defense. The pass defense, was especially bad, 123rd nationally, 96th in rushing defense. So we're talking about basically the bottom third of college football in most major defensive statistical categories. The concern against South Dakota State, who certainly isn't the worst team you could have played, they're not the best team you're going to play either. South Dakota State was able to move the football just under 400 yards for South Dakota State, including, by the way, about 4.5 yards per carry. And so when I look at this game, I do think Arkansas is going to be able to move the football. Now they're going to put up 70 in Stillwater. By the way, if they put up 70 in Stillwater, just give Bobby Petrino the raise right now and give Sam Pittman a raise and an extension, because you're going to win a lot of games this year. Don't think they're putting up 70. But do I think they're going to be able to move the football against an Oklahoma State team that hasn't really been able to stop anyone for most of the last 2 years? Yeah, I kind of do think that they're going to be able to move the football just like they did last week against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Again, not saying they put up 70 points, but I think they're going to be able to move the football. The thing is with Oklahoma State, I also do think that Oklahoma State will probably be able to move the football as well when they have it, because Oklahoma State, listen, they got dudes all over that offense. And I know a lot of people don't like Mike Gundy. I know they want to criticize him. I know they think he's this or they think he's that. And listen, I don't love some of the stuff that he's done. I don't love some of the stuff that he said. If I was advising him, I don't think that I would have recommended talking about DUIs at Big 12 media days. Yes, that happened if you somehow missed the audio there. But the guy's a good football coach, man. The guy's a good football coach, and I know everybody wants to criticize him. And the one thing I will say, as bad as that defense was last year, the offense was pretty good. We all know about Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon was, of course, the player who got arrested. He did not have a great opening night, but Sam Pittman said it earlier in the week at his press availability. He's like, he may not have been great, but we know that that dude can get loose and make us look bad. Ollie Gordon coming off a season where he had 1,700 yards rushing. By the way, you know you're good when a down night for you is 104 yards on 27 carries. And Sam Pittman basically said, like, we played on Thursday. We spent our Sunday, Monday practice time working on tackling. We're like, we got to get this guy down to the ground in one. We got to be able to get him down to the ground, because if we don't, he's a guy that can turn a play that should be 2.5 yards into 5 or 6 very easily, let alone touchdown. So Sam Pittman has talked a lot about tackling, but this is a team that did struggle last year on the defensive side of the football. A team that did finish, by the way, giving up 30 or more points in 6 of their 12 games. By the way, it wasn't just to the super obvious teams either. It wasn't just to Ole Miss or whoever. I mean, they gave up a lot of points to a good Missouri team, but still that's not good news. They gave up 30 plus, obviously, to BYU early in the season. So we don't have to relive the entire Arkansas 2023 season. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that I expect a lot of points in this one. My best bet, since I have not officially said it yet, I do like the over of 62.5. I would have loved to get it when it first opened at 59.5, but there are going to be a lot of points scored. But one thing I will say, I do think Arkansas can win this game. Like, it would not shock me with the Petrino offense, with Taylon Green. They ran the football really well the other day against Pine Bluff. I think they can pull off the upset. It's going to be a tough environment, but it's obviously an 11 a.m. Central kickoff. I do like the over of 62.5.